film of water.
Well, Victor Martinez, always a popular competitor, especially on this stage. This is the same stage, as we remind ourselves, just 4 years ago, where he lost to Jay Cutler by 2 points. And a lot of folks, I think you included, King, felt that Victor should have been crowned Mr. Olympia 4 years ago, and that's a debate that will live on for all time. But Victor really was taking this contest seriously, and it's looking like he did the work.
Yeah, Victor is back. I'm looking at him right now. I looked at him backstage when he was pumping up, and all he kept saying to me is, wait till I get out there, King. Wait till I get out there. And you know what? He did it. He's back. You can just tell from his face, the swagger, you know. That's the Victor that we all love, the Victor we all miss. Now here's the story right here.
Yeah, this is the best Victor we've seen in a while, and we remind ourselves that this is the same guy who had that major leg injury years ago. He has fully recovered of it. We don't even look at it. We don't see it anymore, which is certainly a tribute to the work he's put in. But when you look at this, this is more reminiscent of the Victor Martinez that was climbing the ranks back in 06, 07, and of course he got sidetracked. But life has gotten tough for Victor.
Thank
because
you,
back when he was
Victor
fighting for the title,
Martinez.
we didn't have the Phil Heaths and the Kai Greens in the contest.
That's
all right, well, here he is, King. A lot of people have been waiting to see Kai Green. He has redemption on his mind. This is the same guy who walked on this stage 1 year ago, hoping to upset and steal the whole show. He didn't do that. In fact, he fell out of the top 6, landing in the number 7 spot. He's now working with George Farah, and he has his eyes on a whole different outcome this year. And when it comes to packing on muscle, there are a few guys that can rival Kai Green. The question is, did he make the necessary adjustments over what turned out to be a very big disappointment 1 year ago? King, give us your thoughts right out of the gate.
the first thing is just massive size and just unbelievable thickness. But again, I have to be very objective here. He looks a little bit off to me. He doesn't look like Kai Green that we saw in New York. But then again, Kai's one of those guys who just seems to, he'll either come on or he'll fade. So let's see what happens as he keeps posing. Looks like a slight film of water to me right now.
It's early, though. You know, with Kai Green, his physique tends to change very fast. Typically, he's got those low lots, that tremendous hamstring and glute tie-ins, and he's one of those rare bodybuilders that actually draws those Ronnie Coleman comparisons, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you look at the guy, he's a cartoon character, but, you know, I just hope somebody, you know, he needs to realize that he has all the muscle in the world. Just bring it in super shredded, and he can really, really, really destroy anybody that stands next to him. He looks like he's a little bit off right now.
Here comes the Predator, Kai Green.
Well, here he is, folks. He lives right up the street. He handed out trophies with him here to the 2011 Olympia, and all the buzz around Las Vegas this weekend is that Jay Cutler is in the shape of his life, and of course we're anxious to see him hit his shots, King, because Jay Cutler very much looks like he is ready. And after seeing Phil Heath, it's quite possible that we might have two guys that have hit it out of the park.
Yeah, he's definitely in shape. Big as a house, just width from another planet. You know, as he's running through his poses right now, you know, you can just tell the deep separation, just lots of muscle, lots of mass.
And as he's gotten older, King, you're noticing, now that he's 38 years old, you're seeing a grainier, denser muscle. It's he's getting more of that textured skin. You can see it, especially when you see those photos close up. And almost reminiscent of some of that texture that Branch Warren brings to his shots, and obviously a very different physique. But Jay, this is a very different Jay Cutler than the one who was runner-up here 10 years ago. But this is where we want to see Jay Cutler, because if he's able to keep those glutes hard and bring the back shots that he was able to bring a year ago, he's going to be real tough to beat.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just like, again, I have to. He's got one of those physiques where I have to see him standing next to Phil. You know, there's got to be comparisons. But I have to say this. You know me, Dan. I'll say it like it is. I think Phil looks a little bit better than he does. Just first impressions.
We had Phil Heath on Pro Bodybuilding Weekly a few weeks ago, and Phil actually made a great point. He said, shot for shot, Phil feels like he can take Jay shot for shot.
He is
but
your four-time Mr. Olympia,
Jay's very
Jay
impressive in
Cutler.
the relaxed position. Well, of course, he comes to us from Denver, Colorado. Only his fourth Olympia, and he's only 31 years old. He's no longer the youngest guy in the contest, so they're all three-dimensional in a way that no other bodybuilder can claim. And
amazing.
Phil Heath.
I think we got two guys we haven't called yet. Coming out arm in arm. It's a nice touch. All right, guys, great job. Let's see where we go. Front double bicep. Lat spread. Side chest. Back double bicep. This is it, guys.
If shows are one from the back, who's winning this one?
Lat spread. Lat spread, guys. Side tricep. Abdominal thigh. Nice touch. All right, guys, finish it off. Most muscular.
Is this the pose that decides the winner?
And relax, guys. Let's hear it for these two warriors. And all our champions on stage tonight.
I'm going to begin, folks. That concludes the confirmation round of scoring. I'm going to big hand for all of our Olympians on stage. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you back in just a few moments. The writers have written all year long about it. The student versus the teacher. All of our presenters are on stage, along with our IFBB Pro President, Mr. Jim Mannion. Will Jay score 5 or will the torch be passed? Olympia fans, one last chance to yell out, who is going to win? discussing it. Who do you got, Phil? Gentlemen, in Olympia tradition, the next name you hear will be the 2011 Mr. Olympia. Please take the first place award, the Olympia gold medal, the check for $200,000, the Sandow Bronze Award, and the title of 2011 Mr. Olympia. To our winner tonight, Phil Heath. How about a big hand? Please take the check for $100,000, the Olympia silver medal, and the winner of the award to our four-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler.
Give me 6 inches on you like that. What was this red? Round, ready, here come.
Later tonight, in the 13th, Mr. Olympia has been named the 47th annual Mr.
My best friend.
Говорит, что я счастлив к удивлению, потому что Phil Heath
And I watched Phil
мой друг.
since backstage at a local contest. I said, who is that guy with those arms? And I told him, you can be the best someday.
Должен быть лучше когда-нибудь.
Little did I know that best was going to come against me. But this is Phil's moment. I'm not going to sit here and go on how great of a guy Phil Heath is, how great of a representative he is, most importantly, how great of a person he is. And we all know, as we saw tonight, the greatest athlete on this stage tonight was Phil Heath.
Лет на сцене сегодня это Phil Heath.
So, Phil, I would just want to say to you, we've already had this discussion while we were getting the awards, but I'm extremely happy for you. This is a great moment. I always said that if I was to lose the title, I wouldn't be happy to lose it to someone like you as my friend. And I was very proud to see you come up,
Я горжусь этим.
and now you are the king.
Ты король.
How about a big hand for our four-time champion, Jay Cutler. What a great representative of the sport, and what a great champion.
Хорошо сказал. Достойный.
The Phil Heath era has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce the 2011 Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. Our presenters are ready. Let's bring Tim Bentley back out from GNC. He will be presenting the 10th place award. And you may bring that award and the check for $14,000 to our 10th place finisher, Hidetada Yamagishi.
Well, for the second year in a row, Hidetada Yamagishi earns a spot in the top 10, finishing in 10th place. And we talked about Hide as a model of consistency. And Pep, this is about as consistent as it gets.
It sure does, and when you look at the size discrepancy that he's dealing with at the Olympia and consistently finishing now in the top 10, you really got to take your hat off to him. Looked great, great condition, and he knows he needs to be in that kind of condition to compete at this level. He nailed it, and he was rewarded with a top 10 finish.
Let's have Melissa Rubino representing Ultimate Nutrition. Back on stage, she will be presenting the 9th place award. And you may take that award and the check for $16,000 to our 9th place finisher, The Rock, Ronnie Rockel.
That's about right.
Yeah, it's a fair placing, but it's a disappointing Olympia for Ronnie Rockel. You can be sure he showed up here looking for better things than a 9th place finish, Pep. There's no question about it.
Yeah, no doubt, but, you know, look, he made the choice to compete a lot all year. We talked about that, and it cost him here, and you have to make a decision. You know, do you want to put more of your energy into the bigger shows or compete a lot along the way? He made that other choice. Maybe next year he'll do it differently, and he'll be back in that top 6, top 7 category.
Tim Bentley will be presenting the award for 8th place. You may take that award, the check for $17,000 to our 8th place finisher, Brandon Curry.
Well, what a night for Brandon Curry. He goes from being a rising star to top 8 in the world. And King, you just can't say enough, not just for this placing, but for what Brandon Curry has done for his career in just one weekend.
Yeah, this is excellent for him. He did really well. He deserves this, you know. And actually, I would have flip-flopped him, or he could have been flip-flopped with Tony Freeman. So he could have gone either way.
All right, let's bring Igor back out representing Ultimate Nutrition. He will be presenting the 7th place award. And you may take that award and the check for $18,000 to our 7th place finisher, the X-Man, Tony Freeman.
You know, this is a good showing for Tony Freeman. You know, there was a time when the X-Man may have been disappointed by the thought of finishing outside of the top 6, but well, apparently the concept of the top 6 doesn't quite mean what it used to now that we have the top 10 posing down. But I don't even think Tony Freeman expected that he would finish this high coming into this contest. But really, congratulations. The X-Man continues to really do well at this contest because he always saves his best for the big shows.
Bentley will be presenting the 6th place award and the check for $30,000 to our 6th place finisher,
Dexter.
the Blade, Dexter Jackson.
You had it right, King Kamali. Dexter Jackson lands in the top 6, and that was his goal. He had seen so many predictions where a lot of the experts and a lot of the fans had discarded and figured his better days were behind him. And while that might be partly true, he is still in that elite club. He's still top 6 in the world and coming off a really frustrating, difficult year, King. This is a great way for Dexter to sort of close out a year that was plagued by a lot of frustration.
Yeah, and you can tell he's half, disappointed and half happy. So he wants to do better because he thinks he is better. And he is. If he comes in a little bit better, he can beat a couple of these guys. But this was the right placing for him.
You may take the 5th place award and the check for $40,000 to our 5th place finisher, Dennis Big Bad Wolf.
Well, for the 2nd year in a row, Dennis Wolf lands in the top 5 at the Olympia. You can tell he's not too pleased with it. I think he was gunning for a top 3 spot. He thought he really had done all the work to take a step forward from where he finished last year, and especially with Branch Warren out of the lineup, you could almost make a case that this is a bit of a step back for Dennis Wolf because I think, Pep, he thought he deserved better.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a little higher too, but like we talked about with these 3 guys, when they were being compared side by side, we wouldn't have been surprised if they were flip-flopped in either direction. But I think, King, we both had Dennis going a little bit higher.
Yeah, it was a flip-flop between him and Victor.
To our 4th
It could have gone either way.
Victor Martinez.
Well, and another guy who's got to be thrilled, Victor Martinez moves back into the top 4 at the Olympia after a few years of struggle and a few years of really not being able to find his groove here on this stage, a stage that he almost conquered just 4 years ago. And can't say enough about the Warrior, Victor Martinez. He is back in the top 4 in the world.
He sure is, and his physique really looked fantastic at this event. He dried out more tonight. We expect big things from Victor going forward. And now a lot of the talk coming into the contest, Dan, was Kai, Jay, and Phil, and those are the three men standing on stage.
Exactly the way it's playing out, King. The big three, the ones everyone expected, we're going to make a run for the 2011 Standout Trophy. They are the final three men standing. No surprises yet.
No surprises. But when you look at prejudging
And with that, we're down to the top three.
My opinion, it's going to be Kai third, Jay second.
Igor from
and this is
Ultimate
Phil's
Nutrition.
show, without a question in my mind.
Please take the third place award, the check for $75,000, and Victor's medal. Sorry, Vic, because that is the third place silver Olympia medal. And you may take that to our third place finisher, the Predator, Kai Green.
And there it is, Kai Green with his best Olympia showing to date. And you can be sure, we talked about Kai wanting to win this trophy, but he also needed to separate himself from the pack, and that's exactly what he's done. There's only two guys in the world right now that are better than Kai Green. One of them is Jay Cutler. The other one is Phil Heath. And Kai Green has done what we've long waited for him to do, and that is put himself past a whole bunch of guys who, quite frankly, have been beating him over the past year. He's
How about a
lost
big
to
hand
Dennis
for the
Wolf.
Predator,
He lost last year to Ronnie
Kai
Rockwell.
Green.
So he's been able to dispense of a lot of those guys, and now he lands as the third best bodybuilder in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, coming out of last year's event, moving up 4 spots, putting himself in that upper echelon. He's done that here tonight. But he can't rest on his laurels, because if he's a little bit off, as close as it was with Victor and Dennis, those guys could all flip-flop. But great showing for Kai.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that his right leg was bigger than the girl that was standing next to him.
Well, there it is, the final two. It is Deja Vu 2010, 2011. And here we are, Jay Cutler and Phil Heath will once again stand side by side as the two best bodybuilders in the world as they
We
await.
previewed it. The
Bob
writers have
Ciccarello's
written all year
announcement.
long about it. The student versus the teacher. All of our presenters are on stage, along with our IFBB Pro President, Mr. Jim Mannion. I think they're discussing it. Who do you got, Phil? Gentlemen, in Olympia tradition, the next name you hear will be the two. Please take.
And to win the contest, and Phil Heath has etched his name in the history books tonight here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Gift Heath.
Yeah, I mean, what can we say that we haven't said? He's a three-dimensional bodybuilder who looks fantastic, and it's going to be interesting to see how long of a reign he can go on.
And you can be sure that for Phil Heath, this Standout Trophy is an incredible moment, but he wanted to defeat his mentor and his best friend in bodybuilding, Jay Cutler, and he's done that tonight.
Yeah, and look at him, and I guarantee you that there's many people in the audience right now that are crying with him, because then look at all the athletes. Everyone knows. It's not one of those situations when a guy wins and the guys stand back. Look at every one of these guys is going up to congratulate him because they know he is the champion.
And Pep, just of a statistical fact, for 18 consecutive years, the defending champion showed up here and won this contest. We're in a different place right now. 4 of the past 6 years, the defending champion has shown up here and has gotten knocked off.
Yeah, and I think it makes it more interesting because, to be quite honest, when we had those years and years of dominance with Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Lee Haney, you kind of show up to these events and, for all intents and purposes,